Recently, I've made a number of videos explaining why I think America will be a predominantly Catholic nation in less than 50 years. And I've received some backlash. Both Protestants and Catholics have pointed out to me a recent study where it indicates that for every one person who enters into the Catholic Church, 8 people go out the back door. This video is getting so much attention right now that even the great apologist Trent responded to one of my videos, and he didn't call me out by name, but clearly he was referencing some of the material that I've been talking about in these videos. So in this video, I want to clarify my position to Trent and to anyone who's watching and explain why it's true to say that America is becoming a Catholic nation. And it's also true to say that America is quickly not becoming a Catholic nation. It'll all make sense in a second, I promise. But before I respond to Trent's critique of my video, I'd first like to say that Trent Horn is a wonderful person. I've had the opportunity to meet him a couple times in person, and his books have been something that I have used in my own apologetic work. Specifically, the book Why We're Catholic by Trent Horn is phenomenal for anybody who is entering into or exploring the Catholic faith or religion for the first time. So if you want to check out that book, I highly recommend it. I'll put a link to it in the description, but this is not a hit piece on Trent. He has received enough flack from other Christians. He doesn't need any from me. So I'm just going to respond to his ideas here and hopefully explain and nuance my position a little bit more, because I think what I'm saying and what he's saying actually can be reconciled. So to summarize Trent's critique of what I'm saying is he's basically pointing to the fact that for every one person who becomes Catholic, 8 people leave the church. And he's just pointing to that egregious piece of information and saying that people like me, who think that America is becoming Catholic, are completely missing the boat. And we're actually badly losing the battle on evangelization right now. And our numbers are being artificially inflated and puffed up by immigrants. So yes, every time a Catholic enters the church, 8 leave, but because immigrants from Mexico and from other places come into the country and they're predominantly Catholic, it artificially inflates our numbers so that it doesn't look like we're bleeding out as badly as we are. And he says that there's a sense of triumphalism that can come with this if we think that we're winning the battle when we're not. We just keep referencing the play in the first quarter where our guy dunked on the other guy, even though we're down by 20 points in the fourth. That's basically, I think, a fair summary of what he said in his video. So first of all, I don't really disagree with any of that. I don't think the data is lying, but I think there's something underlying this data that makes both what I'm trying to communicate and what Trent is trying to communicate true. So I'm going to explain all of that. It will make sense. I promise it will make sense here in just a second, but I think both my position and Trent's position can actually be reconciled. But before I explain exactly how that can happen, first I want you to imagine that there is a rocket ship. And this rocket ship has fallen into the orbit of a planet that it does not want to land on. So you can imagine the rocket ship, and it's heading down towards the ground, and it's accelerating, and it has a negative velocity towards the Earth's surface, or towards this planet's surface. Well, what the captain would do, if he doesn't want to crash in the orbit of this planet, is he'll turn on the thrusters. He'll turn on the rocket. So you can imagine as this rocket ship is falling towards the Earth, at first it's falling, gaining speed and falling in the wrong direction. Then the captain turns on the boosters. And what happens is the rocket ship is still going in the wrong direction. It still has a negative velocity. However, as it's going in the wrong direction, it's starting to head in the right direction. For anyone who's taking calculus, what I'm saying will become immediately clear. Basically, the velocity can remain negative while the acceleration can start to be positive. So you can be heading in the wrong direction, but still accelerating in the correct direction. So whenever we're looking at the numbers in the church, yes, right now our velocity, the rate at which the population of American Catholics is going, the velocity is negative. We're heading in the wrong direction. It looks like the number of Catholics is decreasing. However, the rate at which people are entering into the church seems to be positive. Recently, my friend Adrian from Sips with Sarah was interviewed by Fox News, and Fox News reported that there is a 30 to 70% increase in the number of people entering into the church. So what can we learn from this, and how can we reconcile all of this data? Well, the planet, the surface of the planet would be population 0. There would be 0 Catholics in America. The rocket ship represents the actual number of Catholics that are in America. And right now, it's heading towards 0. The velocity is negative. We are quickly going towards the surface of that planet. We're going to crash land. However, we've turned on the boosters. We've turned on the thrusters. So what's happening now? Well, that rocket ship is heading in the right direction, but it's starting to accelerate in the right direction. And there will be a time, sometime I think very soon, where the acceleration in the correct direction overcomes that negative velocity and we see an immediate boom takeoff in the right direction. That's what I'm forecasting. So Trent is correct in saying that the number of Catholics is decreasing. I'm just trying to add the nuance that the rate at which Catholics are entering into the church is increasing. Or to put it in more calculus/physics terms, the velocity is negative, but the acceleration right now is very, very positive. I admit that this is speculation. I don't have a crystal ball. I have not had an angel or a prophet come and tell me that this is the case. So I admit it's largely speculative. However, this topic wouldn't be getting so much buzz and so much attention online if there weren't some truth to it. The Spirit of God is moving throughout America. It's just a fact, and people can feel it. Even non-Catholics, even non-Christians can feel that weight, that draw towards the Catholic Church. And within 50 years, that draw is going to become converts. And those converts are going to have babies. And those babies are going to be baptized. I really believe in the next 50 years, we are going to see America become one of the most Catholic nations on the planet. But what do you think? Can my idea and Trent's idea be reconciled? I'll put the link to Trent's video in the description. You can click on it there and go watch it. And if you want to see another one of my videos where I lay out why I think so many people are starting to be drawn to the Catholic Church right here, right now in 2025, then check out this video next.